Okay, we need to talk. Here, follow me. No, it's nothing bad, I swear. I need your help to help this grow, this brand grow. Are you following so far? Good. All right, let's go. Okay. So, I need your help to make this channel grow. I want to grow it as a community. So, I figured I'll tell you about myself and my art background, and we'll go from there. Sound good? Cool. Also, before we get started, I want to thank you guys for all the really nice comments you left on the last video. It was really generous of you. I really appreciate them. Yeah, if you guys have tips or ideas of what you'd like to see on clothing or you like even colors, by all means, drop a comment. I can't guarantee that that'll be the case, but I'm always open to suggestions. So, especially if you guys are the ones that are going to be interested in the clothing. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So, I went to school for 4 years in New Jersey. I studied art. My background was traditional fine art. I studied in representationalism and hyperrealism. And I did that for 4 years. I focused a lot on portraiture and figure drawing, a little still life work, that kind of stuff. And I graduated. I was originally going to do gallery work. That was kind of the plan, and at the time I was already showing in galleries with some friends through connections I had made in school and through art instructors, and it went well. I sold some original pieces I did and whatnot, but it wasn't really for me. The gallery life wasn't. I don't know. It was just. It's it's a different age demographic. I mean, when you're, when I went to college or it was technically a trade school. I consider it college. I went to high school and then I went to this small art school basically. So, yeah, the demographic, the age demographic is for a lot of people who, buy gallery work is, significantly old, like 40s, 50s, 60s generally. And at the time, I was, 19, 20. I'm 32 now. And it just interacting with them, I wasn't much of a conversationalist then. Through a lot of exploration and putting myself in situations where I needed to talk and have conversations with people, I got much better at it. But back then, it wasn't really the case, So I realized that working in a gallery, or working for a gallery, I should say, because you just do work. They, ask for a certain number of pieces from you, and you tell them what you're going to do, and then you deliver. That's that, basically. And then they take a percentage. Every gallery is different. Lower tier galleries are usually 20-30% commission. Higher tier galleries, I was in a higher tier gallery for a little bit. They're 40 to 50%, sometimes even 60% commission, depending. So you're generally pricing your work pretty high if your work's in those galleries. The work that I have in a smaller gallery, like I said, 20-30%. That's pretty normal. Anyway, so I realized fine art wasn't really for me, and as much as I love doing traditional, I started to explore other mediums in traditional, ink, watercolor. I even messed with crayon. Did some pretty cool crayon art. I think I messed with Sharpies at one point. I did a lot of just general Copic markers. That was another thing. So anyway, moving forward, eventually I decided I wanted to transition to digital. I just saw that the market was going in that direction, and you'd make more money doing it, right? Let me just tilt this down a little more. Hopefully, there we go. So yeah, I went digital, and I loved it. The workflow was just so much faster, and it felt more natural. And so I started doing that and started getting commissions through that, and I did that for the past like 10-ish years, more or less. Just small clients, like personal commissions, like some D&D stuff, some logo stuff, a lot of animal portraits, a lot of people portraits. I did a lot of that stuff. I'll leave a link to my portfolio in the description below if you want to check out the work. Anyway, so then obviously the art industry started to change, and it started to come out that artists really weren't treated really well, and I just wasn't a fan of practices that were being applied through the industry, and also just how artists were treated, how they were underpaid, etc. I mean, you're going to find that anywhere, almost with any trade craft, for the most part, give or take. Animation's pretty notorious for it. VFX right now, in the VFX industry, as far as movies go, VFX artists are being severely overworked and underpaid. If you're interested in like checking that out, that's a thing. But yeah, I just I don't know, I wasn't really a fan of it. That was kind of like I was trying to build a portfolio for that, and decided I didn't really know if I wanted to go in that direction with all this information coming out. Plus the wages just weren't livable. Hearing some artists come out and talk about it, on Twitter about, like the, studios they've worked with, they freelanced with and whatever, and the wages they were being paid. So I decided, not really for me. Let's try something else. What else can we do, right? And I've always loved the idea of clothing, and I've always wanted to create art and put it on a t-shirt. Which, obviously that sentence wasn't well thought out. But no, I've always wanted to make a t-shirt design or t-shirt designs, and I've just never really done it. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I make a clothing brand, or start a clothing brand, and put my art on the clothing, have some fun with it. Express myself a bit more, not be so rigid in like how I approach art. I was like, why don't I do this? It'll allow me to express myself, it'll allow me to have fun. There's no real right and wrong way of doing this. It just has to look appealing. So yeah, I started doing that, and the first couple designs weren't necessarily the best, if I'm honest. I've removed a lot of them from the site, but hey, you live and learn, you try. But basically my focus is I want to try and make designs that are, one, representative of mental health, that are also interesting to look at, that are also, inspiring, that are pretty. I don't want to just make mental health stuff that is mental health stuff, if that makes sense. I want to add value to it. I want to bring awareness to it, but awareness to it in a I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, because this isn't. I want to bring awareness to it in an aspect that also is aesthetically pleasing. So, but I also want to just make really cool, bold designs. Just have fun, whatever it may be. So I do both, right? If you go on the site, you can find mental health stuff, and you can also find just, designs that are really cool, that just pop out. They're really bold, they're really bright, they're in your face, right? And yeah, so this video is basically just a no BS video of me sharing about myself and about my art background. I think I've said in the past, the whole reason I chose neon noir is like, so I'm colorblind. I'm chromatically colorblind, which means that the brightness and dullness of colors. So you have like neon colors, then you have like, really dull kind of dead colors. I have a problem seeing the middle of the spectrum, and then more to the dull side. So I have problems with like red and green. I have problems with like blue and purple sometimes, but I went with neon as a name because neon colors I don't have a problem seeing them. So that's the reason for that. And then noir, I think, again, I touched on this in the last video, but for a really long time I struggled with my color blindness, so I just stuck to grayscale art for a really long time. I do really love grayscale. I also really do love black and white. I think it's beautiful, honestly. I wanted to give a mix of really vibrant clothing with neon and a mix of just kind of like low-key, chill, blend into the crowd clothing with the noir side of things. So that's sort of the approach that I offer. A little bit of something for everybody, which I think, if you go on the site and look at like what we have, like we have the 3 a.m. collection. I'll list the 3 a.m. collection below if you guys want to check it out. It's I think the first collection I did that you can only see the design in light, basically. The collection comes in green, red, blue, and black. But it's a pretty rad design, honestly. Like I said, I'll link it below if you guys want to check it out. And then obviously the neon side of stuff. I'm trying to think of like a really bold design that we have. Oh, like, the ADHD design. It's pretty bold and out there. There are, I think, a few others we have on our site that are just really loud. I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, Marbled Chaos V2. That one's pretty wild. I'll link that one below as well. I'm going to be focusing on ordering some more samples to show off to you guys because I have some really cool collections that I'm working on. There is one collection that's kind of like half released, sort of. It's called Quiet. The hoodie, there's a black variant on the website right now. I have a couple other variants I'm going to be putting up at some point. It basically says it's quiet across the front, and then it reads on the sleeve, quiet people have the loudest minds. It's more of like an anxiety, ADHD kind of shirt. But I mean, it blanketly encompasses that stuff. But there are a bunch of really cool designs. I've done not just for a hoodie, but I also did a pair of sweatpants for that and made it very, very kind of low key, but nice. So, I'll put the link for that hoodie below as well for you guys. And yeah, like I said, I need your help to grow. And I also just want to be open and honest about this stuff. Again, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for 16 minutes of your time. I know that's a good portion of your day. If you're having a bad day, if you're having a rough mental health day, hang in there. I had a pretty bad one. I've had a pretty kind of rough weekend. Most of my weekend been pretty depressed. Feeling better today, but kind of went through like a depression spell, so to speak, which sucked. But a lot of it's just stuff I can't control, And again, me being real, happens. And the best way to kind of get out of it and break the funk is like forcing yourself to do stuff, even stuff that like you don't necessarily want to do, but it's still good for you. So I did some cleaning. I forced myself to do a little bit of work, and I started to feel a little better. So, but take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself rest when you need to. Make sure you eat. Make sure you drink water. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm not going to ask you guys to sub if you don't want to sub. I'm not going to ask you to give a thumbs up if you don't want to. I appreciate it if you do. But yeah, that's that. Have a great day. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.